Hey everyone, I'm Rachel and this is my new channel, RachelUnabridged. Basically, I just wanted to come on and, introduce myself and my channel in this first video just to kind of like let you guys get to know me a little bit and to explain what I'm hoping to accomplish with this channel. Firstly, I am a huge bookworm. I read like 80 to 90 books a year, so I think that I want this channel to be more like book slanted, but I'm also hugely obsessed with horror, so I kind of want to have a space where I can talk about books, horror books, mystery thrillers, fantasy, sci-fi. Those are the genres that I usually read. But I also kind of want to give myself a little bit of leeway to kind of talk about other horror topics, like throwing around the idea of doing movie reviews or like book versus movie comparisons. I also love horror games. If I can find, a horror game that can make me scream, then we're good. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to accomplish. I just kind of want to have a space where I can talk about what I'm reading, what I'm enjoying right now, and then just connect with other people and get their opinions and kind of just build a little community where we can all, hang out, talk about, like I said, horror, mystery thrillers, sci-fi, fantasy, and just, have a good time. We're going to be really chill and relaxed here. With all of that out of the way, I think I'm going to just go ahead and roll my January TBR into this video rather than separating it, into two videos. This is my first time doing this. Be gentle. So basically, the way that I usually organize a monthly TBR is I kind of like to give myself some flexibility, so I'll only pick maybe 4 or 5 books that I definitely want to get to, and then I'll leave a little bit of leeway for me to read maybe 2 or 3 other books, just kind of based on how I feel, because I am a little bit of a mood reader where, sometimes I just want to pick up something that's like vibing with me at the moment, something that sounds interesting, and I don't like to bog myself down by like pre-selecting every single book I intend to read in a month. Most of the books I'm going to be talking about, I don't have physical copies of them. They're either ARCs that I got from NetGalley or I'm getting them from the library. So I'm just going to put covers right over here while I'm talking about them. And hopefully next time I'll have more like actual books to show you. The first book I'm going to be reading in January is A Sliver of Darkness by C.J. Tudor. I think this came out in September, and I was approved for an ARC on NetGalley and just never really got around to it, but it's going to be archived in January, so I'm going to make it a priority to go ahead and read it and get it reviewed and everything before it gets archived. This is going to be my first time reading this author, so I'm actually like really interested in seeing how they write. I think that this is supposed to be like a horror anthology or something, and I really enjoy like short story collections and stuff, so I'm really excited. I'm hoping that this is going to be like a new favorite for me. The next book I'm going to read in January is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I think that this comes out in early February, but I did get an ARC on NetGalley, and I think that it archives in January, so I am going to, go ahead and give this one a read. I'm going to, pretty much do the same thing as A Sliver of Darkness and just try to, like, knock it out as early as possible because this story sounds super interesting. I'm kind of one of those people who likes to go into books as blind as possible, so I'll just kind of skim and then try to like purge my mind of what I've read. So I skim just enough to be like, oh, that sounds interesting, and then I'm like, forget that you even read that before I actually read the book. Just, I don't know, I know I just got done saying that I'm like a mood reader and I am, but like I kind of go into them based on what the story feels like, I guess. So like basically all I want to know is like, this is a possession story, this is a haunted house story, this is, like true crime, this is murder and family drama. So that's kind of all I want to know about books before I read them. And The Spite House is supposed to be a haunted house story with a little bit of family drama mixed in, so I thought That sounded really interesting. I'm really excited to read it. I've seen other people, like, with their arcs already completed, saying that it was really good. So fingers crossed that this is going to be a good start to the new year for me, because last January, I'm going to make a, like, review video for, like, my 2022 Goodreads challenge, and we'll talk about what happened in January of last year. The next book I'm going to be reading in January is Ancient Images by Ramsey Campbell. I think this is actually an older book, and it's being re-released or something. I think it's actually from the 80s, maybe. But NetGalley had an arc of it, so I went ahead and requested it, and they approved. So I do want to go ahead and get that read as soon as possible, because I think it's archived in January or February. And I've never read this author before, but I've heard really good things, and I'm really excited to, like, see if this is going to be a new favorite for me. I know I keep saying that about everything, but that's, like, the goal, right? Is to find new favorites in everything that you're reading. But because I've heard so much about this author, I really, really hope that this is going to be, like, the work that can suck me in. The fourth book I'm going to read in January is Come Tumbling Down by Seanan McGuire. I think this is book number 5 in the Wayward Children series. I started this series earlier this year and just absolutely fell in love with it. I just really enjoy the premise. It's basically like it follows these teenagers who all kind of feel unwelcome in their life, whether that means like society or their parents, you know, their family situation, and it's kind of like them trying to come to terms with that and live with that and try to find a place where they belong. So I really could relate to that and like felt like I connected with a lot of these characters. And I especially loved the second one because it had like these classic horror vibes that were just so good. So I really hope that we get to like go back and see more of the characters from that book and like see that world, because it was so good. I loved it so much. The last book that I have planned to read for January is The Shuddering by Anya Alborn. I have read a little bit of Anya Alborn in the past. I think the last one I read by her was Seed. This read I'm going to get from the library, and it's actually for a group read on Goodreads. I have a horror group on there. It's not mine, but I participate in the group reads on there pretty often, just to kind of, broaden my horizons and find new reads to enjoy. So that's their pick for January, and I thought that maybe I could hop in and, give it a read, see how I feel. So those are the books that I plan to read in January, but once we hit my January wrap up, we'll see how many of them I'm actually able to finish. We'll see if I'm able to get to any other ones. Let's just go ahead and talk about what I'm hoping will happen in January. Best case scenario, I finish all of these books and then I get to read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, because I bought that 2 months ago and I adore T. Kingfisher. I've read, the Twisted Ones, the Hollow Places. I read Nettle and Bone this year, and I just adore the way that she writes. Plus, What Moves the Dead is like a Poe retelling for Fall of the House of Usher, and I adore Poe. Like, of course I do. But I'm really hoping to get to that read because I've had it just kind of sitting on my shelf for a while, and been lovingly stroking it like someday soon, and I think that the someday is January because I need it. One other read I'd really like to get to in January is Firefly Legacy Edition Book 1. I got this for Christmas and I adore like the Firefly universe. I loved the show, loved the movie, and I'm really excited to read this. I did like borrow a couple of issues. I don't remember if it was from this run or one of the later ones, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get into it and see, what the crew is supposed to have been up to after the events of the show. I'm assuming it's after the events of the show, but honestly, I'm not 100%. Whatever it is, I know I'm going to love it because I love these characters, And like I said, just the world of Firefly is so interesting to me. I just love that like sci-fi western vibe. It's so good. So yeah, that about does it. That's what I'm planning on reading in January. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that you come back later to hear my thoughts about what I've read. Additionally, if you're planning to read any of these books, or if you have read them, definitely let me know in the comments what you thought. Please, no spoilers. I'm also planning on doing the BookTube newbie tag for next week because I am a BookTube newbie. So I hope to see you around for that, and thank you so much for watching my video. Bye!